But that was an introduction, guys. That the only thing I can tell you is from the bottom of my heart, it's a privilege to be here, and I'm the lucky one to be able to work with this group, and especially in Charlotte with our team. Elena Turner's here, member of our team, and representing our team. But I'm representing all of you, and that's a privilege. Last night and the night before, I thought of something. I travel a lot, and you spend time in airports. And when you see an airport hello or an airport goodbye, they're a little bit different than the average greeting or farewell. And as I watched this group interact over the last couple of days, I saw a lot of airport equivalent hellos. And you know what I'm talking about, a grandmother seeing their grandchild for the first time, or somebody waiting for a son or daughter or family member or friend to come back from the military, or somebody's coming home from school for the first time. And then when you're saying goodbye to somebody, I know when my wife Kim takes a trip, when I say goodbye to her, I'm stretching my head to the last place before she clears security, right? Those hellos and goodbyes are a little bit different than the average hellos and goodbyes. I saw a lot of those in this organization over the last couple of days, and let's face it, we've got a very unique group. This is a people business, and we've got some great people right here that wake up every day and do great things. I'm going to talk to you about mindset, and much of what Mark talked to you about was really related to mindset. And what I'm going to tell you a couple stories, but I'm really going to be talking about you and your team and all those folks that are back home doing the hard work every day to service your customers and drive your businesses forward. Mindset. Mindset is so important in whatever we do. You think about it. It's where it all starts. Attitude, one of my favorite definitions of attitude, it's the habits of the mind that you display. How you think, the choices you make, and how you act. The habits of the mind that you display. How you think, the choices you make, and how you act. And the neat thing about attitude, it's probably the single biggest determining factor of your success. The single biggest determining factor of your success. And it's 100% controllable. 100% controllable. That's good news, isn't it? That's good news, because that means we're in charge of where we're going to ultimately be. Now, just down the road from here, since 1982, the first race was February of 1982, and they ran two that year. There was another in October of 82. They run a world championship event, the Ironman World Championship Triathlon. And I want you to think for just a minute. Right now you see the start. But I want you to think for just a minute about that race, because it relates to our business. So bear with me on this, but trust me, there are some really strong parallels. Not everybody in that race is a world-class athlete. There are many people that haven't ever exercised before, and they decide they want to earn the title of Ironman. So think of the mindset when that vision first comes to them, that, hey, I can do that. I think I can be an Ironman. I can swim 2.5 miles in open water. I can ride my bike 112 miles through lava fields, and I can run a marathon. And I can be an Ironman. And then they tell one of their friends, and their friends say, you can't do that. You don't even have a bike. I don't think you know how to swim. You're crazy. You can't do that, right? What about us in business from time to time in SMB when we try to tackle a new challenge? I can't do that. John, you're a new member, right? Relatively new member. Somebody might tell us we can't do something, but we can do it, right? But it starts with the vision, and then you got to kind of touch the next base, belief that you can do it. Then you got to have the courage to start doing it, right? And then comes the work and the setbacks, the surprise, right? That, oh boy, that didn't go like we planned. We got to get back to the drawing board. And then at some point you cross the finish line. So let's fast forward. They're standing on the shore. There's world-class athletes standing on the shore, and then there's folks that are running their first race standing on that shore. Imagine what they're thinking when they've got 1,000 folks on the shore of that beach, and they're waiting for that cannon to go off. They're going to be in the open water all by themselves. And then that cannon goes off. And let me tell you what happens. 50 yards into the race, Jim, somebody kicks your goggles and you got salt in your eye. And you got to adjust the goggles, right? Sounds a little bit like our business sometimes, right? When we're chasing a goal, we get salt in our eye. And then somebody swims right over you because it's crowded, man. And there's no blue line on the bottom of the ocean, so you go a little bit crooked once in a while. You might take a false step or two and kind of get your, as they say, course corrected. You're in the open water. You're there by yourself. And you see that big sail of the turnaround boat, the turnaround vessel. And you finally get to the turnaround vessel, and you make sure they see the number on your arm, right? Make sure they see the number on your arm because somebody's a spotter, and they want to make sure you made the journey. And you think, hey, I'm at the turnaround vessel. And then you realize it's another 1.2 to go or thereabouts. And I'm not doing as good as I thought I was going to do. This seemed to take a little longer, and I wonder if I'm behind schedule. We're taking on a challenge in SMB, right, Alan? We get that same feeling from time to time, don't we, right? And we got to believe and keep going and keep working. And then we finally get out of the water. We don't have time to rest. We got to transition because the clock is ticking. They don't say, hey, Mark, good swim. Hey, get a Gatorade, sit down, get comfortable for a little bit, and we'll get your bike rolled up for you. Make sure you're comfortable, and then you start your ride. No, you're in a hurry, man. You're trying to get on that bike, right, Tom? And you're saying, hey, I got a journey, man. I don't have time to wait. And you get on that bike, and you got 112 miles through hot lava fields on long inclines with the wind at your face. And if you're not a world-class athlete, you probably got a bottom-of-the-line good bike. It's a good bike, but it's not one of those potentially aerodynamic, perfect bikes that weigh about 2 ounces. It might be a good bike, but you don't have the best equipment all the time as you start. But here's the good news about the ride. The wind's in your face, and you're saying, when I get to that turnaround point, I'm going to have the wind at my back. Right? And that's going to be great. If I can just get up there, I think it's Habib. If I can just get up there and turn around, it's going to be easier. That last 56 is going to be a lot easier than the first 56. I'm looking forward to that, Mike, because it's been tough. And then you get to that turnaround point, and all of a sudden there's a surprise. Hey, the wind's still on my face. What happened? Oh, it's a swirling wind. It's just going to be in your face all the way. And I thought I was going to be downhill. Still feels like we're going uphill. Another surprise, right? But guess what happens? You get through that bike and then you start running. Your legs don't feel like they normally feel because you've been swimming and you've been riding a bike for hours. This is the longest day of your life physically, right, up to this point in your life. Just like in our businesses sometimes when we embark on something new. Mark said, are you driving or is technology driving you, right? Are we driving it? Well, we're trying something new. Our legs don't feel like they usually feel. And then you get into the marathon, you run 26.2. But guess what happens? You get to the finish line, and they take your picture. And they give you a medal, John. You did it. You did it. A lot like our businesses. A lot like some of the challenges we have. See, I think there's a lot of triathletes in SMB. The only thing is there's a lot more than 3 events that you got to master, right? You can't just be a good swimmer. You can't just be a good marathoner. You can't just be a good biker. You got to be good at a lot of things. You got to be good at a lot of things. I mentioned Lou Olesnicki yesterday. I saw him in a crowd. I visited his office recently, and I came away with an observation that when you visit Lou Olesnicki's office, you're reminded of what's possible. You're reminded of what's possible. And Lou stands at his desk. He doesn't sit. He's got a special desk that he used doors. He's old doors from an office that he once worked in and his team worked in. They've made conference tables out of the doors. He's made desks out of the doors. He's done some amazing things. But you're reminded of what's possible. There's a lot of triathletes in the SMB space. So mindset is so important as we decide to attack the opportunities. Now, my goal today is to give you a little bit of a sense of the mindset of the RSPA because we have a privileged position. We get a chance to work as your strength coach. Now, Doesn't mean you're not good. You're already strong. But if we can help shave a few seconds off a transition, if we can help the stroke a little bit to be a little more efficient so you can glide through the water a little bit better, if we can help you in the resistance training area to get you a little bit better equipped for the next race, that's what we want to do. What a privilege that is. So I want you to get a feel for today for what our mindset is, and you're going to see that reflected in the next 3 days. When you hear about business valuation, and you hear about security on the last day, and you hear about recurring revenue, you're going to get a sense for some of that. But let me start and just kind of lay out a very simple process that we're going through. You know, sometimes simplicity is the greatest form of sophistication. And I just want to tell you the path that we're on. We've got our compass out. We've got our heading. We know the trail we're on, and it starts with the business that we are in and the business we want to be. So we've got a vision, we've got a mission, and we've got a trademark. Our vision is to be an indispensable resource. Our vision is to accelerate your success through knowledge and connections. And I'm going to talk about our trademark just a little bit later. So we start there. And then we've got to have a structure that aligns with delivering on that vision and that mission. Make sense? Meaning we've got to have the boxes in our organization that align with our capabilities necessary to deliver on what we're here for. We've got to make it real. We've got to show you, not tell you. So structure. Then we've got to have the talent in those boxes to deliver, right? Structure is nothing without the people. And then we've got to have comp plans that line up with the value that we want our folks to deliver on behalf of our members. Then we've got to have the measures and metrics that allow us to be sure we're still on the right trail. And then we've got to have the culture and the management system that goes with it. How often we look at those measures and metrics? And what kind of a culture does that, all those things create on behalf of our members? So that's the path we're on. It may sound simple, but you know, there's a lot of companies, large and small, that skip this step. Meaning in its totality. They forget the basics. We're not going to do that. And you know, we're going to use our compass. I got a compass right here. We're going to use that every day to make sure and to check ourselves that are we staying on the trail? Do we have the right structure? Do we have the talent? Are we delivering the value that's necessary to deliver on the promise, deliver on that vision and that mission, being an indispensable resource, accelerating the success of our members in the POS ecosystem through knowledge and connections? Are we a strength coach that's a worthy strength coach to help our members? We're going to be stubborn about it. That's the trail we're on. And we're out in the wilderness. We've oriented our compass toward true north. We've got a heading, and that's the trail. And we're going to walk out of the front of that compass and that heading, and we're going to pick landmarks along the way, and each one of those are landmarks. And we're going to be very stubborn and very disciplined. It may not be exciting. It may not be magic tricks, but it's going to produce results for you. And we're responsible to produce results for you. So mindset, that's our mindset. Does that make sense to you, gang? Does that compute? We're committed to it. I'm going to talk about the trademark here in a second. Now let me give you some examples of where I see the strength coach. And again, you're great athletes. You're great triathletes. You're running great businesses. Our job's to make you even greater. Even make you even greater. And every great athlete needs a strength coach. You know, Derek Jeter didn't skip batting practice. He was a pretty good ball player, but he was in a batting cage before every game, right? We got to work on our swing. We're going to help you. So let me give you some examples with just some questions for you and some thoughts. What if we could help you select salespeople in a more methodical way? What if we could help you onboard salespeople with more success? What if we could help you establish a forecasting discipline that you can set your watch to that ultimately drives your numbers north? What if we could help give you information that helps you understand what your market share is, or how many shipments are going to happen in your space this year so that you can properly plan, or more importantly, maybe a territory that you want to pursue? We can help you understand what that market looks like and what you could expect out of it? What if we could help you in operations? Again, not because you're not already very good, but can we help you get a little bit better? What if we could help you with an office audit process that helped you drive cash flow or helped you measure your service technicians and their influenced revenue, or how many repeat calls occur when they run a call, or prepare them to handle the kind of questions they're going to get from customers from time to time, like, how come it took you so long to get here? How come your service is so expensive? How come you haven't ever seen that new device that you're working on? We want to coach them on the Safe Island messages around those fundamentals. What if we could be that strength coach to help you on some of those finer points? What if we could prevent a breach because of the great training and the great resource of a Nathan Sweeney? Because that's what we want to be. We're committed to helping you guys get that done. And that's our job. That's our job. These are great events. These are coaches' clinics. You can accelerate your competency and your knowledge over the course of 72 hours. Your learning curve can be condensed. That's a great thing, but it can't be the only thing we do. We got to be more to you. So we want to have an expanded offering with an expanded impact. Expanded offering with an expanded impact. Let's talk about that trademark. Let's go to that trademark statement. I want to tell you a little bit about this. When I first started, I had a chance to talk to every board member and many members. Over the first 2 weeks, I had a call every hour on the hour, for the most part. It was very busy, and I was doing a lot of listening. But I always asked one question of everybody I talked to. I asked them, what word or words would you like the RSPA to be associated with when people think about us? And I mean other associations, I mean our members, I mean merchants. When people think about us, what word should come to mind? Because you know what? Here's a principle for you. Every championship team has a trademark. Whether it's an athletic team, an educational organization, a business, every championship organization is known for something. It's known for something. What do we want to be known for? What are we known for? And I got a lot of words, but none of them were average. None of them were just kind of keep things as they are. They were powerful words. And we then crafted this statement. Now, this may look like a pretty innocent statement, but let's go through it. A trusted thought leader. Now, I probably haven't earned your trust yet, but we're gonna, right? We got to do that through actions. Got to do that. So trust is a powerful word. A trusted thought leader. Thought leader means we can help you see around the corner just a little bit. We come up with some creative solutions to things you deal with every day. That's heavy. Trusted thought leader. And I love this word, driven. Driven. You know what driven means? It means you're highly motivated. You're not just interested. Or it's not that you just know it's your job. You're highly motivated to serve. I know that's an overused word, but think of serve. Serve is powerful. We're here to serve our members. That's got to be our mindset. Professionally serve our members. Not as they succeed or not as they get through the year, but as they thrive. Thrive, in essence, in serving your customers. So that's our trademark. That's what we want to be known for. We've got to earn that. Now, the cement may not be dry on this yet, but I wanted to give you kind of an early view of it. We may tweak it just a little bit, but every one of these words came from our members. And they came from our team in Charlotte when we sat down and looked at where we were and where we want to be. So, a trusted thought leader driven to serve our members with professionalism as they thrive. To professionally serve our members as they thrive. That's powerful. And you know what that does for us? You know that trail I talked about and that compass? It helps us make sure we're still on the trail. Because guess what, gang? There's true north and there's magnetic north. You know what magnetic north is? It naturally pulls you off course. You got to orient toward what matters, and you got to be stubborn, and you got to stay there. So, I want to show you a video. You know, I'm from Buffalo. Geez, I didn't get any boos. That's good. I did get some laughs, but yeah, go Bills. I'm from Buffalo, and I want to show you a video that many of you have already seen perhaps, but I'm going to give you the Paul Harvey version. I'm going to share the rest of the story with you. And this is not a video that is about a football player. This is a video that's about us. So bear with me. Let's go to that video.
Of celebration and warmth. I'll give you the rest of it after this play. 4th down and 6. And Wright fumbles. Picked up by Leon Lett. Can he go all the way? It's a 60-yard run. He's being chased by Beebe. Watch out. Did he get across? No, they are not. That's going to be a touchback to Buffalo.
There's no call yet, though.
He has not marked touchdown. It was knocked out of his hands and went out of bounds in the end zone, which would give it to Buffalo at the 20. And look at Lett. If they call that a no touchdown, he's going to dig a hole and crawl out of this place from there.
He's going to need a big hole.
That was going to be the 3rd consecutive loss in a Super Bowl by the Buffalo Bills. Now, what was inside Don Beebe to chase down Leon Lett like that? I think there's a lot of Don Beebes in this room, and I think there's a lot of Don Beebes that you're representing back home. And that's why we're here, right? There's a service technician right now running a service call. There's somebody answering a help desk call. There's a salesperson trying to get their first sale. There's an admin person doing the right things to take care of business. There's a vendor planning a release of a new product with a scrupulous marketing plan that is put together in hard work to get it there. Somebody's assessing a market. There's a lot of Don Beebes in this room. Let me tell you the rest of the story about Don Beebe. He was there for all 4 Super Bowl losses that the Bills had in succession. He was on the losing end of 4 straight Super Bowls. That was the 3rd. The first Super Bowl the Bills were in, Super Bowl 25, Don Beebe was a rookie, and in the playoffs he broke his leg. So he was at that Super Bowl in Tampa, but he was on crutches. But before he even got drafted, he went to a small school, wasn't supposed to go to the Combine, got a late invite. The Combine, by the way, is a gathering of prospective draft choices in the NFL. He was an afterthought, but he got invited. And when he got to the Combine, his shoes blew out on him. One of his shoes blew out on him because he didn't have all the best gear. He actually had to tape his shoe to perform at the Combine with duct tape. You know, everybody's got fancy equipment from the bigger schools, fancy track shoes. Don Beebe's got to tape his shoes. And he runs one of the fastest 40s. Ralph Wilson notices him, the owner of the Buffalo Bills, and they draft him. Misses his first Super Bowl on crutches. Adversity, kind of like you, right? We have adversity every day. Sometimes we have to tape our shoes. Sometimes we have to make do. We got to be creative, but we fight in SMB. SMB is a thriving market. I wouldn't bet against SMB. I wouldn't bet against the heart of a Don Beebe. And then he loses 3 straight Super Bowls. But you know, and he's got to chase down Leon Lett in a blowout loss. But you know what happened? That was Super Bowl 27. In Super Bowl 31, Don Beebe was playing for the Green Bay Packers. He was their 2nd leading receiver that year. And he won a Super Bowl. I don't think it was a coincidence. I don't think it was a coincidence. He was running to that Super Bowl in Super Bowl 27. 4 years later, the worm turned. And here's what was neat about that game at the end. When Brett Favre was in that victory formation, you know what that is? When they're just kneeling to run out the clock because the game's been decided, you just got to avoid a mishap. They had Beebe behind them about 12 yards as the safety in case there's, something crazy happening. Beebe's there to prevent a disaster. And when that clock struck 0, you know what Brett Favre did? He turned around and he gave Don Beebe the football. Don Beebe wasn't chasing anymore. He wasn't chasing Leon Lett. Brett Favre knew the journey he'd been on. And he handed him that ball, that game ball. So it took 5 times, but he got it right. And sometimes when we're on that journey to get where we're ultimately going to go and where we want to be and that vision And that belief, just like those triathletes, it's a journey. So, whether we're standing at the shore, ready to jump in, and we got people crowding us in the water and getting salt in our eye, we're getting swum over, and we're fighting, or whether we're chasing down Leon Lett to strip a ball, when things aren't going great, but we're still fighting hard, or whether we're in the end zone celebrating because something good happened, or we're champions, we get where we ultimately want to go. We're going to fight in SMB, and the RSPA is going to work to be as creative as we can be to bring value for you and earn that trademark of a trusted thought leader driven to serve our members professionally as you thrive. And I just want to leave you with 7 words. And I want you to think about Don Beebe. Remember, that wasn't a Don Beebe story. That was our story. And that triathlete story, that wasn't about the triathletes. That was about us. Because we're going to find a way to win. So I want to leave you with 7 words. And this is important. This is important for us to believe. There is a win in your future. And I don't care where you are in your cycle. You may be at the top of the mountain. But there is a win in your future. Just like there was a win in Beebe's future. And we at the RSPA are going to do everything in our power to assist in some measure and in some meaningful way. And I want you to remember that. So we started with mindset. Hopefully you're thinking about your mindset a little bit and how you can even be more successful. Now you know about our mindset. So my friends, there is a win in your future. Thank you very much. I've been talking to you. I want to listen to you the rest of the way. Thank you.